Hello everyone. So in the previous video we have discussed about clause analysis, unlocking the structure of sentence and what is a clause, and the next subtopic was types of clauses, under which we have discussed the dependent and independent clauses. So today we will be dealing with another subtopic, that is this, identifying clauses in a sentence. So here, answer this. Let's all read together. Identifying clauses within a sentence is a key skill in analyzing sentence structure. To identify clauses, look for the subject-verb pairings within a sentence. Remember that each clause must contain at least one subject and one verb. This part we have discussed in previous video, and here there is an example. For example, in the sentence, the dog barked loudly because it was excited. We can identify two clauses. The dog barked loudly. It's an independent clause, no? Independent this sentence, and because it was excited as dependent. So each clause contains a subject-verb pairing, and the dependent clause is introduced by the subordinating conjunction because. So this conjunction, it brings the two meaning together. Now, for example, the dog barked loudly here because it was excited. No, so here these two joints, and this two is this, because this very word is bringing the two sentences together and making a complete sentence. No? So sometimes the subject of a sentence, it is like more than just a single word. It can include extra information, no, in the form of clause. All right. So here we have this. We already have discussed about this, but I'll remind you again. A clause in a subject, it is a group of words that provides more details about the subject, and it includes its own subject and verb. No. And these clauses are often called relative clauses, no, because they usually start with words like who, which, that, or whose. No. So here, in order in order to identify a clause in a subject, what do we need to do? First, no? First, we need to find the main subject of the sentence. No? That don't then look for any additional part that describes or explains the subject. And if this extra part has its own subject and verb, it is a clause. Remember that it is a clause. For example, in the sentence, the boy who is playing in the park is my brother. The boy who is playing in the park is my brother. Here, the main subject is what? The boy. The main subject here is the boy. And the clause who is playing in the park gives more information about the boy. So I'm sure you all are clear with this. Here, by recognizing all these clauses in the subject, you can see how the sentences are built. No, you can see how the sentences are constructed or built. No, and understand how extra details are added to make the subject clearer or more specific. All right. So let's shift into next topic. So here the next subtopic we have is analyzing the function of subordinate clauses. Under these we can see that subordinate clauses depend on independent clause for their meaning and can function as adjectives, adverbs or nouns. So here in point number 1 we have adjective clause. Under this it has been written that it modifies the noun or pronoun in the main clause. So again here in the next number 2 is adverb clauses. So it modifies a verb, adjective or adverb in the main clause. The point number 3 we have is noun clause. Here we can see that it functions as a noun in the main clause, acting the subordinate as the subject, object or complement. Yes, complement. So here let's dive into like detail. Here in subordinate clauses, these subordinate clauses is also known as dependent clauses. All right, so these subordinate clauses, also known as dependent clauses, these are parts of sentence that cannot stand alone or depend on the main clause to make sense. So here they usually begin with subordinating conjunctions. For example, like because, although, if, when, or like relative pronouns. For example, like who, which, that. So here subordinate clauses, it serves specific functions in a sentence, helping to add all the detail, explain relationships and provide additional information. So here point number 1 is adjective clauses, which is also known as descriptive function. So under this, see here it's clearly given modifies a noun or pronoun in the main clause. So in detail, let me explain it to you all. So here a subordinate clause, okay, under adjective clauses, a subordinate clause can act like an adjective, no? Describing or giving more information about a noun in the sentence. All right, so here for example, the book that I borrowed from you is amazing, no? So here the example, here subordinate clause is that I borrowed from you, that I borrowed from you. And here the function will be describes the noun book, no? Describes the noun book. I hope you all are clear with this. And the next is adverb clauses. So here in adverb clauses, no, here it's given modifies a verb, adjective or adverb in the main clause. So here under the adverb clauses, a subordinate clause can act like an adverb. Okay, a subordinate clause can act like an adverb, explaining when, why, where, how, or under what condition the action is main clause happens. No, in the main clause happens. So here, example is I stayed home because it was raining. No, I stayed home because it was raining. Here the subordinate clause will be because it was raining, and the function will be explains the reason why I stayed at home. So these are the things. The next is noun clause. So here onto the noun clause, here it's we have a subordinate clause can act under the noun clause. I'm talking about like noun clause. So under this we have a subordinate clause can act like a noun. Okay, here subordinate clause can act like a noun, serving as the subject, object or complement of the sentence. So here the example, one basic example will be here what she said surprised everyone. No, what she said surprised everyone. So here subordinate clause will be what she said. No, what she said, the starting sentence, and the function, the sentence which is functioning here is acts as the subject of the verb surprised. Na? Surprised. So that will be the verb. So I'm sure you all are like clear with this function of subordinate clauses. And I also want to add here the steps of analyzing subordinate clauses. Alright, so here, under these steps of analyzing subordinate clauses, number one, we have identify the clause. Yeah, so identify the clause. This is one of the most important point. So here, what do we need to do? In order to identify the clause, look for a group of words with a subject and a verb that cannot stand alone. Alright, so here. Number two is determine its functions. No? And the number three will be understand. You need to understand its role in the sentence. No? Like see how the clause connects to the main clause and enhances the meaning. No? So all these are the steps in order to analyze the subordinating clauses. Alright, so yeah, that will yeah, so let's stop here for this very topic and jump into the next topic.